So, can we play the full theme tune?
No. It's too long.
It's not too long.
It is. That's the whole point of it getting it short. No, people don't want to. You might like. I'd say I'll give it to you on CD. Give it on 7-inch.
Just once in every 10. What do you think?
I don't care. That's not
He
true.
doesn't care.
I think
basically means yes.
No, I think it is too long.
There we go. Does
Yeah,
count.
but we'll introduce over it. I'm Wyndham, I'm Tim, I'm Hamilton.
Lighthouse.
Done.
Welcome to episode 12 of the movie Lighthouse, shining a light through the fog of film. My name's James.
I'm Laurie.
And I'm Wyndham.
Yeah.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hey James, how are you?
I'm very well. Did you have a nice summer?
I did, actually. Didn't do a great deal.
Did you not? I thought you were all over the shop. No?
No, we now we're actually recording in the newly renovated extra
Lighthouse.
wing of the lighthouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's all done and dusted.
It's
that's
got
really
a
what we
lovely
did this
view,
summer.
isn't it? I can
It's
almost
pretty
see
good,
into
isn't it?
Matron's bedroom from here,
Yeah,
actually.
it's not bad.
It's not a hospital. It's a lighthouse.
Mate, yeah, no, Matron, she's down there though, isn't she? Just on the coast.
I
Look.
can see the sea.
Well, look, stand on your tippy toes and lean left. There she is.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
How about you? Did you go anywhere nice?
I had a lovely summer. We went away, family, saw mother-in-law, or close proximity to mother-in-law. On that said holiday, she made such a miracle of a tortilla. She got so excited. She came over, she delivered it to us in a floppy hat, hair curlers, and like a schmock. And then she said, I've got to go. I got so excited about the tortilla, I forgot to put my knickers on. And then she had to run away. So that's kind of nice, but it implied that she maybe might have cooked it naked.
Naked cooking.
Yes.
It's the best way.
Wait, it does involve frying.
Yeah, at arm's length.
Arm's
Yeah.
length.
Yeah.
How about you, James? How's your summer been?
It was very good. Thank you for asking, Wyndham. I went to Italy, which was very nice
Very
indeed.
good.
Then to Scotland.
Very nice.
What part of Scotland?
Oh, I don't know.
All right.
Oh, I do know.
Hebrides.
It was Moffat.
Ah.
Yeah, which is near Dumfries. So I went for a wedding, the wedding was wonderful, by the way.
Good.
So there you
Are
go.
they listeners?
Probably. But it was very good. I'm not lying. It was
Did
very
you have
enjoyable.
haggis?
No.
No, haggis is nice.
No, I'm not a big fan.
Sheep stomach stuffed with meat and barley.
Right.
I was going to say something. Yeah, so there's the summer, but right now, if you look out the window, there's that sort of
Matron.
Is that apart from her,
It's turning autumny now,
it's
isn't it?
turning autumn. Do you know what that means?
It's coming close to Halloween.
Hey!
And I'm going to be talking about that in a bit. So,
fantastic.
Marvellous.
yeah.
Have we
So
got plans?
I've got lots of plans actually to share with you guys today.
Exciting.
Yeah. So we'll get on to that. I think after we've opened our bulging mailbag.
Yeah.
It's been pretty bulgy this week, isn't it?
So we have had some correspondence, haven't we?
We have.
We have, yeah. I think on the Facebook sort of page that we've got out there at the Movie Lighthouse, whatever it's called.
That's exactly what it's called.
Yeah, well, we got tipped off about this new film that's coming out called, what's it called? Martha, Mary,
Mandy.
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 You're playing with us, I can tell.
Yeah, we popped that on there, but
So it's Cab Holly on it who got into contact.
that's right, yeah, and he sort of tipped us off onto this Beyond the Black Rainbow film. So yeah, I suppose that's not necessarily Mal though, is it? That's more of like
Correspondence?
yes,
Kind of like Mel?
yeah,
That's
kind
all
of like Mal.
Well, look, it's the best we've got. Don't knock it.
what else is in the bag?
We
then?
did get a little email from really to demonstrate our global appeal, I think.
Wonderful.
Because this is from a listener, Bernie, in Abu Dhabi.
Wow.
And he wrote in just saying, I'll keep this short but sweet. Just starting listening to episode 11 and started the downloads at episode 10. I will get round to the others. Good job, guys. Enjoying the ramblings of middle-aged men about their love of film.
Oh,
Keep it up. Very entertaining.
middle-aged man. That's depressing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thanks, man. No, it's not.
But when you think
Not-
about it, we are probably going to die in our 80s, so we are.
Well, speak for
middle-aged.
yourself. I'd be amazed if I get to that age.
So thanks, Bernie.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So do keep your mail flooding in.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear from you, especially commenting on the film. So that might be a novel idea.
And how might they? What's the email address for?
The email address at the back of my script. It's going to take some looking.
I think it's just the movielighthouse@gmail.com, isn't it?
That's the one. So we've got Facebook, we know, at Movie Lighthouse. Twitter, at Movie Lighthouse.
Yeah, Instagram, @The Movie Lighthouse.
Yeah, so come on, drop us a line.
Yeah.
But talk about the films, why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah. Well, I
What
mean,
do
we
you
did.
think?
We actually, in here, there is a great mail from JR.
Oh,
saying-
yeah, I did want to mention him. Go on.
Yeah. Well, he was just.
From the Blue Box podcast.
That's right.
Yes.
Now he's basically explaining about when it was Jaws, wasn't it? Jaws was on TV, but he was in the pickle that actually at the same time that actually first aired on TV, the BBC's adaptation of Day of the Triffids. Episode 5 was also airing at the same time, so
He was torn.
he's obviously a very what's it called? Clever? Is that it? No, there's a better word than that. But anyway, he got his black and white TV, moved out the sofa, so they could all watch Jaws uninterrupted, set up the black and white TV, and obviously he was watching the clock, so he was watching Jaws, and then he realised the Day of the Triffids was coming on, and sneaked behind the back of the sofa, watched the Day of the Triffids episode, and then got back to Jaws.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Before VHS was kind of really home, in everyone's home basically, so he couldn't record it.
Well, he is quite an astute man. He did a podcast. Resourceful, there you go. Did a podcast a few weeks back now, talking about the new Doctor Who series, which is going to start. And he basically predicted that it would be moved to a Sunday night. And he had all these reasons for it, and he kind of broke it all down. And he's right. It's coming back on October the 7th on a Sunday night, sandwiched between the Antique Roadshow or something. But
that works. I think a Sunday really fits it quite well.
Well, yeah, that's in the heyday with Tom Baker. It was on a Sunday, I think. So, yeah, so it'll be about 5:30 on a Sunday. And first title is called "The Woman Who Fell to Earth." So we'll definitely talk about that a little bit. All right, won't it?
But actually, just quickly saying that, so that Day of the Triffids, episode 5, and Jaws was on. I love Day of the Triffids. We had recorded it at home, and I remember watching it through. I think I couldn't stay up that late or whatever, so I came to it a little bit later. But was watching it on VHS, and I was very conscious that the story jumps, and it must have been around episode 5. So I reckon that first airing of Jaws is the result of my missing that gap in that.
Interesting.
Because obviously it must have been a big deal when they first aired it on TV.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks loads, JR. Really good mail. Good to hear from you.
All right, so I thought I'd tell you a little bit about what we've got coming up.
Actually, before we do, can we just quick shout out to the sad news over the last week? So Jacqueline Pierce passed away.
Oh, yes.
From Blake Seven and 60s horror films.
And also she appeared in a 1985 Doctor Who called The Two Doctors.
Yeah.
Playing an androgyne called Chesimi.
Yeah.
She was awesome.
Unfortunately, she died this week, and Burt Reynolds yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Burt.
Absolutely. Here, obviously, Smoking the Bandit.
Come in,
Cannonball
Bandit.
Run.
Your
Vision
time is
Express,
up.
was it? Didn't he do those glasses adverts?
That's it.
Ah.
He was my hero of glass wearing. And, it is sad. But he had a good gig. And I must admit, actually, I thought we'd already lost him.
Yeah.
Well, at least we had him for a little bit longer than you thought.
Yeah.
All right, so let me get. So we've got quite a busy few months, guys. So next month is our birthday show. We are gonna be 1 year old.
Is that right?
1 year old.
How
1 year
time
old.
flies.
1 year old.
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah. So
we're still wearing nappies, right?
Oh, definitely.
Are we drinking from our mother?
We're drinking. I don't know who's going to be.
Okay.
But so we are going to do something slightly different at the end of the show this week. We are not going to be digging into my ball bag, but I'll tell you more about that later.
Ooh.
They're both looking very shocked that I've done them any of this.
No,
And because we're
fine.
filming, you'll have to go along with it.
Yeah. I'll save on hand sanitizer. It's
And
fine.
then after that, it's going to be our Halloween special.
Oh my fist.
Yeah.
So our last Halloween special was kind of not necessarily, but it was like it's Halloween.
It kind of went off a bit half-cocked, didn't it?
Yeah.
And then before we know it, we've got a Christmas special, which we'll tell you more about closer to the time, but we're going to mix it up a bit for Christmas as well.
Yeah. I suppose that's fair. Like Strictly Come Dancing, X Factor's on the TV. It's basically Christmas, isn't it?
It is definitely the countdown.
And then we've got to do our film preview of 2019.
Yeah, there's a whole load of films that we were talking about for this year that haven't come out yet.
Are there?
Aren't there?
Are there?
When I say
listen.
a whole load, we did talk about was it Mortal Engines?
Yes, we did.
That's not
Yeah,
it yet, is it?
the Tarot.
That looks quite good.
Tarot.
Anyway,
Yeah.
So
well, that sounds terribly exciting, James.
yeah. All right. So has anyone got any news?
I heard a rumour.
You've got a broken heart.
I've been talking to that penguin again. You know that little freaking penguin. Anyway, he said that the Creep Show.
Yes.
Yeah, remember that?
No.
I think the guy who wrote The Walking Dead or something like that is getting involved, and he's going to be doing like a Netflix series of the Creep Show, which could be something really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm quite excited about that. I mean, when I was little, you had Tales from the Crypt. There was like some other wonderful thing that had the book that used to flap open at the beginning. Had Danny DeVito in it. I can't remember what that was called, but that was great too. So yeah, something like this again would be, a little portmanteau or little short stories of horror or weirdness would be cool.
I'm trying to think of what that was because I think
Do you
I
remember
know
that?
Yeah. I don't know, but Creep Show. Didn't Stephen King do a Creep? Write a couple of films.
Yeah, he
Creep
did.
Show films.
He was actually even in it. He turned into
he's always in it,
essentially the
isn't he?
Swamp Thing, which is a really good one actually. That's a good
Yeah.
little story, that one.
So watch that space, hey?
Yeah.
Great. Anyone else?
No.
I've got. Well, all I want to mention is I've started watching Steven Universe, and I'm kind of slightly obsessed with the theme tune. And I got very excited and told you two guys, and I find that I bear a striking resemblance to Mr. Steven Universe
Steven
himself.
from the
You
universe.
really
All you need
do,
is
yeah.
like a guitar strapped over your back, and then you'll be rocking, my man.
I'd never heard of this. So had you heard of it?
Hell yeah! Yeah, I'm all over the cartoons. I love a cartoon, me. And actually, when you go away to Spain or anything like that, you just flick on a TV channel that's just dedicated to cartoons. You get just weird and wonderful cartoons. Something to definitely keep your eye out. Shin-Chan. That's quite an old one, actually. Shin-Chan is a great
We haven't
cartoon.
finished talking about Steven
Doberman.
Universe yet, though, have we?
But Steven Universe is pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I'm obsessed with the theme tune, so I thought I'd play it at the end of the show as opposed to our regular theme tune because we play that too much, I think.
Yeah.
I like it. Anyway.
Laurie's obsessed with wanting us to play the full 5-minute version.
I know
of
the
the theme tune.
twinkly bronky bit. Oh.
But yeah, he anyone who can rhyme with Stephen, a word with Stephen, I think is brilliant. But it'll all come to light when you listen to it. Anyway,
Stephen Heathen.
yeah, I can't remember now off the top of my head, but listen to the theme tune,
Okay.
you'll love it.
Cool.
All right, is that it then? Any other news?
There
There was a little bit on. Have you seen the film Suspiria? Coming out with
Yeah.
Tilda Swinton, and there's a rumour that she's actually playing 2 parts in.
That's also we were talking the BFI Film Festival.
That's on there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on there. So me and Wyndham are going to go and check out a couple of films. Maybe Laurie's too busy.
way too busy for that kind of malarkey.
Yeah.
But back to Suspiria. Yeah, I heard that rumour. I think it was quite a while ago, actually. I think you might have mentioned it on the podcast. And I was like, oh, whatevs. Because it is a great, great, great film. It's a classic. Turns out you haven't actually seen it, have you, James?
No, I was thinking of a completely different
You've been
film.
talking about it for years. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, I've never seen it.
Yeah, it was. I was thinking of Phantasm, which is nothing like.
An awesome film. So obviously I thought, oh, God, here we go. Pointless remake. But actually, if you look at a little bit more into it, yeah, you've got great actors in there. And the music, which is a really important part of the original, is going to be penned and written by Tom York, who's obviously a pretty big deal. You know,
The guy from Radiohead.
Yeah, kid's got chops.
Isn't it Thom York?
Oh shit! Actually, yeah, it is. And but I really, really do doubt that if you just look at Tom, he's not going to be able to compare to the Goblin soundtrack for the original. So anyway, it might be something interesting. So I might have quickly poo-pooed it too quickly. We'll see.
So you're going to go and see that one at the BFI then?
Probably. I don't know. Maybe. I'm very busy.
Very busy man. All right. Okay. Well, should we move on to In the Beam then?
Yeah.
All right. So, sorry, I'm now making edit notes, by the way, so I know exactly when to put in sound effects because it was too much hard work before.
That's my best sound effect.
So I'm doing that from now on. Right. So I got a message from a friend of the show, Rebecca Adamson, who basically said, I love In the Beam. She's from Wales.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Welsh?
It's great, that is. But I don't know what it is. What is it? So...
I've always been reprimanded. Every time I explain what the In the Beam's all about, you're like, I think it's self-explanatory.
Because you talk gibberish most of the time. And then you go off on a complete tangent.
That's
go on.
very
all
true.
Right. Explain what In the Beam is.
In the Beam. We're in a fog of film. What's her name? Meg.
Reb.
We're in a fog of film. We're saturated. We can't see in front of our nose. So in the beam, we're shining a light on something, a little nugget that we think you should check out. It's a recommendation. It's In the Beam of Light.
That was pretty
Pretty
good.
lucid,
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I'm impressed. All right then. Win, what have you got?
I do have one. Yeah, it's a recent film. It's John Krasinski and Emily Blunt in A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it's just a brilliant concept.
Laurie, you've seen it.
I haven't seen it.
You have seen it.
I had to wince. Have I seen it?
I sat next to you while we were watching it.
What did you think of it? Oh, you didn't like it, did you?
Talk to me about it.
Well, the concept is that the Earth's been invaded by aliens and they hunt by sound.
So, the one I fell asleep in. I fell asleep with both my hands on my chest.
No,
like a vampire.
let's be clear, not because of boredom, because you were inebriated.
James.
Sorry, I'm just...
Sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, but it's just a really good... I love the concept and it's just really tense the whole time. There's almost no dialogue. Everybody's just freaking out at the slightest possibility of making a noise. And the first kind of 5 minutes, the opening 5 minutes, is a surprise. You kind of... Because normally these films take a little while to get into them, but this just hits you straight away. You go, fuck!
Does the kid get fucked over?
Well, yeah.
That's
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert, yeah. But yeah, really, I just thought it was very good. And they're making a sequel, or they're making a second film, and but we don't know whether it's a sequel
or a prequel. It might. I think that's actually a film which would really benefit from a prequel.
Agreed.
I saw it again with my nieces because they wanted to watch it. I'm sure of a legal age to watch that film. My mother ended up watching it and she really liked it, which was odd. But it builds so much tension. You are kind of gripped. You're on the edge of your seat.
And the performances are brilliant. I think, like all the four main characters, John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, and the two kids, I think are really good.
I think John and Emily, they're both married, aren't they?
They are to each
other. They kind
other.
of wrote it together.
Well, he wrote it. He wrote it, and she recommended a friend of hers to play the wife, and then she read it and said, "You have to sack her because I'm going to do this."
Wicked.
And because they're married, he went, "Yeah, my marriage is more important than that friendship." So she got it. She's very good in it. Yeah,
and just really pull up the name of the girl who starred in it because she.
The deaf girl.
Yeah, because she's a deaf actress as well.
Millicent Simmons. She was very good.
Yeah. It kind of opens all that debate because there's been a lot of talk recently about whether disabled roles should only be given to disabled actors, and then gay roles should only be given to gay people.
Who was it? There was somebody was cast recently, and has pulled out because they're not disabled. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, it's
wasn't it about the Elephant Man? I think there's. Oh no, I don't think they. A guy who's been cast for the Elephant Man.
Oh, that's it.
But I don't know if he's pulled out. Maybe he has now.
It might be something else, but yeah.
But what do you think, guys?
I think it's down to the acting, though, isn't it? I mean, like, even if you go down to a fully, you know, the role requires a fully able-bodied person, there's still that so-and-so gets the gig because they look prettier, or you know, the director thinks that people will be able to look at that person's face for an hour and a half or however long it is. So there's that prejudice of good looks. But then you go into this area, okay, so it requires someone with deafness or whatever. Does a hearing person get that gig above a deaf person? There's loads of other factors that play into that, but I'm sure that there's a massive list of actors that cannot hear, and they would be able to portray that life easier and better. I don't know. It's tricky.
I think if their disability and their or experience of being disabled, that's going to bring something to a role that you can't fake.
Yeah.
So that kind of life experience, really.
But then I suppose we're outside of the actual idea. So it's what has to be the beginning and the middle and the end is the idea, and it's about the characters and exactly what that is. So, if it, do you know what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah, but there's
that's
also
the most important thing.
Yeah, but there's also from a commerciality perspective, if studios are making films that they want to make money, and whether we agree with it or not, I think audiences are more intelligent and open to things than maybe studio bosses give them credit for. But those decisions to cast Tom Hanks in Born on the 4th of July, not Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise in Born on the 4th of July, disabled veteran, all that kind of stuff, that's because he's Tom Cruise, and they're going to sell the film off the back of the fact it's got Tom Cruise in it.
Yeah, and it required him to run around quite a lot at the beginning.
Well, there was that. Yeah, there was that.
Well, let's just winch the guy around a bit. Get a bit of plasticine.
Well, apparently
from the waist up. Well, be fine.
What's Tyrion? What's the actor called who plays Tyrion in Game of Thrones?
Dinklage.
Yeah.
So he's just taken on the role of the guy who played Nick Nack in Live and Let Die. Mm-hmm. They're making a film of his life, and apparently he's come under a whole load of criticism, not because
he's not.
Well, he is the right height,
Asian,
but he's not the right ethnicity. And I think there's a danger of you getting a bit too niche.
Yeah, exactly.
There. The poor guy can't win.
Yeah. But like I say, coming back to that thing, the idea has to be kind of sort of trumps it all. And even be like a commercial. Their idea is we want a massive blockbuster. We want to get a shitload of money for this film. That's kind of the idea,
Yeah, but if you look at something like Doctor Strange, where they cast Tilda Swinton as the Buddhist Tibetan master, that film would not have suffered by actually casting someone of that ethnicity. They would have made that. They would have made the massive amount of money they did anyway.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I think
getting all serious. Yeah,
sorry about that.
All right, I've got in the beam. I watched. It's another old film. I watched some old films recently. But,
good boy.
The Magic Christian. Anyone seen that film?
It's ringing a bell.
The Magic Christian.
Ringoing a bell, Laurie, because it stars Ringo Starr.
Yes.
And Peter Sellers.
Oh, fantastic! Yes. And is this something about like his dad or something?
Yeah. So Peter Sellers plays like the richest man in the world.
Yeah.
And Ringo Starr plays a homeless guy.
That's it.
And he basically adopts him. And he's obviously like 30 or something. And it's all about just splurging money and what you could do with having an infinite amount of money, basically.
Yeah, which is exactly what both of these guys have.
So there's a lovely bit where they go to an auction house and they buy this really rare Rembrandt or something, and then Peter Sellers just cuts out the nose. You can throw the rest away, I just want the nose. And lots of that, Christopher Lee makes an appearance in it, and it's kind of got, there's lots of touches of Monty Python and stuff. So, really very enjoyable.
That's a good call. Yeah. That's a good call.
Richard Attenborough's in it as well. Apparently.
He is, but I can't remember what he plays, so I didn't mention him.
Fair enough.
No, I've let you down, I think.
You always let me down, Laurie.
The hole in the beam thing. I'm so sorry, Reb. But it's not actually a film. Am I allowed to just highlight an audiobook? Is that all right?
No.
Damn
Yeah, you can actually.
Okay.
Yeah, go on.
So I discovered this little app you can get called Libby. All right, I was tipped off on this. And all you do is you put your library card number in there, and you get free audiobooks. Fantastic.
Wow.
If it's a more popular one, or if it's already been rented out, you kind of have to wait for it and reserve
Hold
it.
on a minute.
I know.
That's not how it works.
It's kind of odd, isn't it? But anyway.
The digit, the 01001 binary numbers are back. Pass it on to Laurie.
But anyway, so I listened to a bit of H.P. Lovecraft as I was waiting for the one that I did want, because I was tipped off. It was Ready Player One, the audio book.
Oh, right, yeah.
Ready Player One, the audio book. It's great. I did think, well, actually, turns out the H.P. Lovecraft audiobook, I kept falling asleep. I kept falling asleep on trains. I fell asleep on a platform. I missed my train. All sorts of stuff. And I was like, why do I keep falling asleep? And because
It was 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, there was this one woman narrating. She talked very slowly,
Oh, right, yeah.
and it was quite irritating but soothing. But obviously kept rendering me asleep.
What kind of strange behaviour are you now displaying that she's embedded in your subconscious?
There's definitely plenty. When I look at black cats and like sort of weird quagmires,
Black cats with top hats.
turning into tentacles, I come all over queasy. But turns out, well, anyway, so I started listening to Ready Player One. I was like, this guy sounds just like Iggy Pop. Did Iggy Pop, do the audiobook to this? And he's also talking very slowly. So this is just a highlight. If you do download Libby, just make sure that you're playing it at the right setting. Because I had it it's like quarter or whatever that
Is it a record player that you bought?
Yeah, so make sure that your settings, you're playing it one-on-one. And then when I found that, he suddenly turned into like a normal voice and it was great. But the actual...
So did you get to the end of chapter 1 or is it like still on the first
I actually haven't got
page?
to the end of the whole book because I ran out of time. I was like, shit, I've got one day left.
What library time? So they limit it as well?
Yeah, you have 14 days.
Oh,
I was
Lord.
listening to 7 of those days at the Bronx.
Well, I like to listen to Audible. I think it gets a really crisp, clear sound.
Do you have to pay for Audible?
I'm hoping I'm going to get a free. If you hadn't interrupted my advert, I may have got like a free subscription.
Ready Player One is great. It's just it's a deliberate, unabashed 80s romp. The setup of it is just really, really great. I haven't seen the film. I'd recommend, if you do get the chance, to read the book beforehand or listen to the audiobook beforehand. The detail in there is just, it's wonderful. You've got some really great nuggets, really inventive, loads of little, sort of obscure tidbits from the 80s and gaming, films, music, fashion. It's all there. It's real, real good fun.
Great.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let's move on to On the Rocks.
Yeah.
Have we got a soundtrack for that?
No, we're not.
Look, listen, it sounds...
You've done exactly the same thing as you did last month, which is you just made the soundtrack, so I don't need to put it in.
Oh, yeah, there's more hands this time.
Do you want me to put in something? Now I've got my sheet. I can put in anything at any time.
Put it on your sheet.
Love on the rocks, ain't no surprise.
And
Right.
also, anyone got any news?
No, stop it. I'm not putting any more sound effects in.
I love that song.
Right, okay, so for our listener Reb, do you want to explain what On the Rocks is? Pay attention, Reb.
Right. Okay. We're in this fog of film. Yeah. And there's some dangerous rocks out there that you might not see, you might accidentally step upon. Shit, you rendered yourself Stuckville. You're on the rocks. And what are those rocks? They're bad films. Things to avoid. Dangers in the fog.
Again, very good. Working hard, man.
Yeah, really concentrated tonight. I'm liking it.
It's alright.
Alright, so
I need a wee.
I haven't got anything today, I'm afraid. Everything I've watched has been tip-top.
Oh, lucky you.
Tipped up.
I do have something.
Alright.
And it is also a relatively new film, recent film, The Dark Tower. And so I've recently just finished the 7-book Stephen King marathon.
I've read the first one.
Holy crap, that is an amazing, amazing piece of work. So I knew going into so it's 7 massive books. So I knew going into it, you're not going to be able to distill all of that down into a 90-minute film.
Ovs.
So I looked at it from the perspective of, does it stand up as a film in its own right, as opposed to, is it a good adaptation? So no, it's not a good adaptation. It's terrible. Does it stand up in its own right? No, it's absolutely poke. It's rubbish.
Well, no, what were they thinking? Because obviously, like The Hobbit, they stretched out a 100-page book or something into 3 films.
Yeah.
What were they thinking, trying to squeeze 7 quite long books into one film?
I've no idea. But what they've done is they've basically taken 2 or 3 themes.
Yeah.
So the main character is the last of the gunslingers called Roland of Gilead. But it's this huge universe that King has created, and they've basically taken Roland, they've taken his nemesis Walter, who's a magician, and they've taken this concept that the world is supported on 6 energy beams.
I didn't actually know that he was Walter the Magician. I just thought it was a Man in Black.
You haven't read them yet, have you?
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
I've read the first one.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's not ruined anything.
All right.
Genuinely.
Feel
I'll
like
stop
you've
talking
read
about
it.
it at that point. But the idea that they've taken it and distilled it into 90 minutes is that I don't know.
Did King sign that off?
They should have just called.
Look, he hasn't got the best taste in film and TV, has he?
Well, I think
he hasn't had a bad run of it.
Well,
really,
I think the thing is.
Well, he's not involved.
For authors, they basically say, if anybody comes and offers you money for the film rights for your film, take it. Because it takes so long to make a film that invariably they revert back to you before the film's been made, and then you sell them again. So I think he just kind of goes, yeah, fine.
But I have heard that they're making it into a series anyway.
TV series, which actually lends itself better, I think, because it's so big.
Yeah.
But yeah, so don't bother watching it. It's a shame, because I quite like Idris Elba and I quite like Matthew McConaughey, but it's just a really flawed film.
Yeah.
I will just say...
Limps along, I like to say.
Yeah.
I will just quickly say, actually, there is something that I could have put in the beam, but it's
okay,
not.
have you got something from The Rocks?
It's not.
Have you got something on From The Rocks?
For The Rocks, no, surprisingly, no. Because I watched Jurassic World, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Which you didn't like, did you?
No, not particularly.
Did I hate it? No. Is it all right? Yeah. Is it a dinosaur film? Yeah, it is. I didn't mind it. It's okay.
All right, so you haven't got anything to add?
I don't think so.
Great. Yeah. You're not talking about Jurassic World, because that's what you're trying to trick me into. I see
about like the new one, not the new one that came out and they're in the
doesn't matter
stately
which
home.
one it is. If you liked it, it doesn't get a look in.
Yeah, I quite liked it. I'm not beaming it though, but I'm saying that
you're not allowed to.
What?
You're not allowed to, is it? Because this is about the area. This is the area of the show where we talk about things we don't like, and you're going to confuse our listeners.
Paul Reb.
Yeah, Paul Reb. She won't know what to know. Wonder she doesn't know what it's all about.
I saw Say Something from the 80s. It's really great.
I'm gonna
again.
Right.
A lot of
where's my edit sheet? I'm gonna edit that bit out. 34:21. This is gonna be great. Cut out Laurie. Great.
Do a beep.
All right. Right. We better get on with our main feature.
Yeah. Yes.
1981. Ooh.
Do you know what that means?
Well, it's the apocalypse, right?
No, it means like, holy cow, 1981.
There we go.
I mean, I think luckily we were not blinkered, but unaware of what a year, what kind of films were in this.
Well, I'm going to tell you about the year of 1981, actually. It was what happened. The Yorkshire Ripper was caught. The Prince of Wales, Charles, married Diana. It was also the first year that the word internet was mentioned.
Crikey.
So it was although it didn't come around for a very long time, that's the first thing we heard of the internet. Shall I tell you what was on? Let's see if there's anything else of use. Not really. Right. Shall I tell you what was on TV at the time?
Go for it.
All right.
No, go for it. No, it's more 90s.
Okay, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That hit the TV screens.
Awesome.
It had been on the radio before that. Pigeon Street started.
Pigeon Street.
I hated Pigeon Street. It
Now
was
what?
so dull.
What?
It was like Coronation Street
No, it wasn't.
for pigeons. It
It wasn't about pigeons.
What was it
It
about?
had a
They were
couple of
there.
pigeons, but
They just kind of sort of
they were
littered
just
the
in
place.
the
Right,
in
what
the
was it
background.
about?
It was this
You're
random
not allowed
street.
to mention long distance Clara.
Oh, in that case, it was about a couple of pigeons, I think.
Absolutely.
There was a
Can't
PC, or is that bod?
Yeah. But Fizz won the Eurovision Song Contest
Did they, with Making Your Mind Up?
with their racy little number.
at
Yeah.
that.
Skirts.
Uh,
It's Velcro, right?
Ken and Deirdre got
think
married
so.
on Coronation Street. Kind of scraping the bottom of the bar
Yeah.
barrel, really.
Well, that kind of sets the
Yeah, I
TV,
think that's
all right?
enough.
We're happy.
Yeah.
What was the highest grossing film of the year?
Oh, and the first episode of Danger Mouse. Danger Mouse started. Now that was a cartoon.
That was a cartoon, yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Very,
good.
very short cartoons. More. Oh,
Yeah.
but very good.
Yeah, it was.
Soon the world will be mine.
That's very good.
Thanks very much.
See Baroni.
We could go into business together.
We could.
Now one of the Chuckle Brothers has unfortunately left
passed
this
away, yeah.
plane. We could fill the gap.
We're similar, actually. In actually, no.
What, you said I look like Barry Greenback? All right,
What was
let's
the
move on. Yeah.
top grossing film of the year?
Ooh, not quite there yet, Wyndham. I was just going to mention some of the top albums.
Okay, please do.
I could have actually just said the films. I was being churlish. I'm going to do the films first. Okay, top. So we had Fox and the Hound at number 5.
What?
Now, I have to say, I'm not sure on the reliability of my information.
Fine.
Okay,
Just
Move
as a
on.
disclaimer.
Where did you get your
Number
information
4, Any Which Way You Can.
Yeah.
Right.
Number 3, Arthur.
What? Yeah.
Number 2, strangely enough, Superman 2.
Yeah.
And For Your Eyes Only was top of the charts.
Really?
So I'm looking at a list that
Oh,
doesn't
what?
entirely correlate
That
with
is
It's
mean.
got to be Red as the Lost
Go
Ark.
on.
Number one, according to this list, was Raiders of the Lost Ark with 212 million.
Now, I think this was for the Lake District. All right,
Oh,
okay,
in
go
that
on.
case.
Yeah, please.
So
That makes more sense.
top 5, Raiders of the Lost Ark was at number 1.
Uh-huh.
At number 2, On Golden Pond.
I love that film.
I've never heard of
It's
it.
about old people dying.
Brilliant. At number 3, Superman 2. Number 4, Arthur. And number 5, Stripes.
Stripes.
Stripes isn't a bad film, either.
Yeah,
and-
but
Number
So,
6, with the wonderful Burt Reynolds, The Cannonball Run.
Oh.
yes, there it is. So, like I was saying though. So yeah, I think we were kind of unawares of actually the biggie films that came out that year. So yeah, you had like Clash of the Titans, Raiders of the Lost Ark, obviously. which
Don't
was
pretend you're
one
pulling
of the
these from the top of your head.
Well,
Because J.R. Southall told you all
Ray
of
R-
these as well.
Exactly.
But you're pretending I can see. This one. This one.
I was
Do
about
not
to
take the
say,
credit. Yeah,
he
whatever.
clipped us around the ear and he was like, "What?" And he's actually recommended that maybe 1981 does deserve a trilogy. But we'll, obviously we've got Halloween coming up, but maybe 1981
We're
could
not
be
coming
plopped
back-
back
Halloween
into your
2
ball
was in
bag.
1981.
Halloween 2 was in there. Yeah.
I think you should do the films from now on. All right. Well, I don't know if this is right now then, but it says here that the biggest selling album of 1981 was Kings of the Wild Frontier by
Oh shit!
Which makes sense because I liked Adam and the Ants in 1981.
Everyone liked Adam Ant.
Also, Tom Baker regenerated into Peter Davison in 1981.
I actually
Brilliant.
found out in Blade Runner he's projected on one of the pillars in the outside
Tom
street
Baker?
scenes. Not Tom Baker, Adam Ant. He's there.
Is he?
He's in Blade Runner, yeah.
Crumbs.
Alrighty then. Okay, so we'll get on with our first selection and we are going to have a look at an American werewolf in London.
Marvellous.
Let's have a clip.
Did you hear that? What was it? A coyote. There aren't any coyotes in England.
What happened to them?
Well, the police report said they were attacked by an escaped lunatic. Must have been a very powerful man.
Jack and I were not attacked by a man.
It's an animal. A wolf. Did he say a wolf?
Yes, I believe he did.
Did you get a good look at the man who attacked you?
Doctor, my memory is fine. It's my sanity I'm beginning to worry about.
You've never had bad dreams before?
Well, sure, as a kid, but never so real, never so weird.
I'm going to look into your eyes.
Blue moon.
A lot of that, isn't there?
There is a hell of a lot of
There was
that.
another Moon song in there as well, wasn't there?
No,
Yeah.
it's every single freaking song that you hear throughout it is something
Something to do with
moon.
Moon
Yeah.
Dance.
Moon Dance.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Bad Moon Rising. Queen's Clearwater Revival.
that's a good song.
Yeah.
They're all good songs.
Yeah.
They're all good songs in this.
All right, so shall I give you a little bit of information?
Please do.
It may well be wrong now. I don't know if I can trust myself again. Well, I know this was right. It was released in 1981.
It was.
Bob on.
Director and screenplay by Mr. John Landis. And it says it made 10 million at the box office. But if anyone else knows anything different, let me know.
We're not interested in the money.
Okay, so, and it starred David Norton as David Kessler, Jenny Agutter as nurse Alex Price, and we should really mention Brian Glover, obviously, was in it. The wonderful Frank Oz made an appearance.
He did. Rick Mail.
Yeah, Rick Mail.
Rick Mail?
Yeah, he was
Yes.
playing chess in the Slaughtered Lamb.
Oh, was he?
As I watched
really?
it, I thought, is that Rick Mail?
Of course that's
And
Rick
then
Mail.
it is.
There we
hell,
go,
guys.
All-star cast.
Yeah.
All right, so there we go. Right, so do you want to give us a synopsis, Wyndham?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a couple of American high school guys, I guess, no, university age, are on a walking tour in the UK, and they end up on the moors, and they get attacked by a werewolf. One of them gets killed, and David Kessler, the curse of the werewolf, gets passed on to him as the villagers come out and shoot the original werewolf. Mm-hmm. And then he's whisked off to London to recuperate, and then when he comes out of his coma, he's got a week before the new moon, and it's mayhem after that.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All right, so let's get into it. I've got a couple of connections with this film.
Have you?
Yeah.
What do you mean connections?
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Connections between what?
Well, the first one is that I went to see this about 4 or 5 years ago at the BFI. There was a special screening with John Landis, and went to check that out with my friend Vicky Webber, which was brilliant seeing it.
Well, she's our friend as well.
I suppose so. She likes me more though, she's told me.
Well, that is true.
But also, I've worked with Mr. John Landis.
Holy bull! How?
So, in my day job, I work with actors with learning disabilities, and we did some.
You're a creative director, James. Let's not do you down.
I really want to pick myself up, but we were supporting artists on the film Burke and Hare, which he directed. So,
that was him, was it?
Yeah,
Oh, right, okay.
and I had a chat with him about British architecture, so you can imagine my enthusiasm about that subject.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he start it then? It's like, James, check those.
Oh, have you
The
seen
arch.
that brick, Mr. Landis? Do you know how old it is? Yeah, but he was a very nice guy. He was very good with the extras. So, yeah.
Very
That's cool.
exciting.
Well done.
So, there we go. So, what first thoughts? When did we first see this film? Laurie, kick us off.
As I was watching it, I was trying to figure it out when I must have watched it. And I thought, man, 12, 13. But then as it cooked up to the bit where it all kicks off in Trafalgar Square, I remember my mum saying to me, there was this big commotion up in Trafalgar Square the other day. And, they were shooting a film and they thought it was real. And I don't know, she said it was about a werewolf and all this stuff. And I was just sat obsessed going, what the hell could that be? And it was like 2, possibly even 3 years later, I remember, and I can't remember how I must have been able to got to see it. Maybe one of my brothers went up to the video shop or something. And I just remember feeling so elated going back to the playground saying, I've seen it, I've finally seen it. Because loads of my mates had seen it just like before.
You've misremembered all of that.
So...
You have, because I've just worked out the timeline in my head.
Yeah.
They must have filmed it in 1980 and you would have been the age of 4 years old. 3 years after that, you'd have been 7. And in 1983, if you had a video player, I would say that you were a very wealthy individual indeed.
In 1983. I know we got ours pretty early, though. We definitely did. I haven't got a clue. You're probably absolutely right. 13. I saw her when I was 13. My first assumption must be right. But no, I remember her saying that there was this thing going on and they thought it was real and there was a big commotion. But anyway, yeah, probably about 13. I think it could have been younger. Anyway, and yeah, I was probably most obsessed about the Werewolf itself and London seeming very exotic at the time, because we'd only visit it every now and again, and just seeing London with that story unfolding in London kind of sort of, flared my imagination, really.
Yeah. Brilliant. Win.
I don't know what is happening with all these films, but this is another one of those films that I'm convinced I saw years ago, and then as I'm watching it, I'm going, what the I'd never seen it all. I'd never watched it end to end.
Jeez Louise.
So I watched this 2 days ago. And I was like, wow, how have I never seen this?
Oh my lord.
Really bizarre. And I assumed I'd watched it, maybe not as young as 13, but I thought I would have been in my mid-teens. But I didn't. It's the first time I saw it was the other day.
I haven't really got a recollection of when I saw this film. I think it was probably a bit later, about maybe 16, 17. I just cannot remember when I've seen it. I feel like I've seen it quite a few times, but I don't know. I like it very much. Let's talk a little bit about it. Did we like it?
What the hell? Yeah, it's perfect. It's watertight. It's solid. It begins, the two guys, you love the guys, they're great guys. They're not jocks or anything like that. They're not superly handsome. They're wonderfully charming, funny. They go into this weird situation.
Although we've done the synopsis.
Yeah.
Again.
But yeah, it's solid. It's a completely watertight film. And funny and smart and scary.
There aren't that many good acting performances in it.
What?
Yeah.
And there's zero chemistry in it.
What?
Between
David
Kessler, the character David Kessler, and Jenny Agutter's character Nurse Alex, there is absolutely zero chemistry between those two people. The story is, it just takes massive liberties with reality. And I'm going to say with reality, it's about a fucking werewolf. But it just takes massive liberties with the progression of relationships, just so he gets to go home with her.
Yeah.
It's the bits watching those two profess their love for each other.
Yeah.
And it's just bizarre. And some of the writing is comical, but not in a it doesn't feel like it's deliberately comical.
Right. Okay.
I really enjoyed it, but there are just bits in it where you go, what? When she takes him home, and they go into the flat, and she goes, I never really do this. This is the first time. I've only had 7 lovers, 3 of them one night stands. Yeah. I'm going to go and take a shower. What?
Yes.
So bizarre.
I mean, I think it's obviously John Landis trying to, obviously he knows how to write for Americans maybe, but he doesn't know how to write for British. No. And seeing I love this film. I really do love this film. But the perception of British culture, it's like the hospitals. Was it really like that when we were young?
I was sat there thinking.
The 80s.
I was sat there thinking, wow, the NHS really has been underfunded for the last 35 years, because you don't get fed your dinner by a nurse. They've got patients to look after.
Yeah, but she fancies him, innit?
Evidently.
But it's just efficient writing. That's kind of it. It's just efficient writing. Get there. She's very, very saucy. And when you say their chemistry isn't what I kind of see it, and this may be my problem. When I said that I thought originally I'd only maybe seen it at 13, I think it's because that's when I really crammed this film in a lot, and I was watching it a lot. And it is, for one, there's a certain scene in it that meant the world to me as a 13, maybe 12-year-old, maybe possibly even 11. And it involves Jenny Agutter's And when she has
Jenny who?
a guitar.
Is it the scene that shows
Yeah,
her breasts?
maybe. But I was like, I was definitely a 12-year-old that knew every word to Moondance. Let's just put it that way. And so I kind of, I saw this sort of chemistry there. And then I think David Axon's is great. I think he's really charming. And his mate, Jack, fabulous.
Well, look, let's put
Jack's all right, actually.
Yeah.
I agree. Jack is all right.
To put it into context as well, I'm not sure when the last Werewolf film had been. Obviously, we've had the Universal ones, which is what he's kind of going from, the Wolfman. Were there any in the 70s? Any spring to mind? And there was a spate of werewolf films afterwards. We had The Howling, and, obviously all that nonsense with Twilight, which was a lot later. But I don't think there really was. So the whole way through the film, because he doesn't actually change into the werewolf until quite late on.
Yeah.
So you've got that whole tension, which I remember having as a kid going, oh my God, he's going to turn into a werewolf.
See, that's really interesting, because I think it removes all of the tension. The writing and the David Norton, who plays David Kessler, his acting and the lines there just effectively I felt just took any of the tension that might have been there away, because it is a jokey, bouncy kind of, and then when he's naked in the bush in the zoo after his first night rampaging around, and he's trying to get the kid to give him his balloons or buy his balloons, and then it just I didn't get any kind of tension from it at all.
I suppose it's tension of
there
the
was
time
a tension
coming up.
from it, that him getting the balloons off the kid. That wasn't the tension bit.
No, I understand that. No, I understand that. I was just no. That's well.
When he does change, though, let's say that. Let's
Yeah.
build up to the change. Tell me what you thought about that change. Jesus! He's reading the
I did
book.
think it was very good.
Just reading the book.
And also, so you've got the music going on, haven't you?
Blue moon. again.
Is it blue moon on that
Yeah,
bit?
it's a very subtle blue.
So you've got that juxtaposition of him. I mean, the makeup was amazing.
Fuck me. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's a guy called, oh, damn it. I'm going to get his name in a minute.
We
but
have now got access to a bit more information, because we thought we'd better name drop some of these people that we talk about.
Yeah. So,
While
I'm
you're
going to
doing
say
that.
Rick Baker.
Yeah. Yes.
Rick Baker. So you've got the whole sort of metamorphosis scene, the changing transformation scene. Tell me about that. It was the first time you'd properly seen it.
Yeah, so I'd seen the clip of the muzzle stretching, so that's the bit I always remember. But I thought that was really good. I thought the fact he went from 0 to there was no increase in pain.
Just Jesus
it was just
Christ.
happening immediately.
Yeah.
And then the actual effects with the long fingers and the hindquarters stretching out, and then it was very
But
good.
I think what you've got to do
And
is...
David Norton was good.
Yeah.
But what you've got to do, I think, is think about what had come before then.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be... It was completely different to what had come before then. So, the Wolfman, which... all that kind of stuff was quite a slow change, and so to have him just going, oh my God, going from 0 to 60 right away, having like the happy-go-lucky music in the background while he's turning, there was
really
some of this
gruesome, really gruesome, realistic sort of transformation. You hear his bones cracking and breaking, the pain that he's going
and
through.
when his spine flows down.
And the beautiful shots of like the hair underneath the skin, and it kind of breathing.
His claws come out the end of his fingers.
Yeah. But it pays a homage to the old transformation films where, like you say, it would just be like Lon Chaney or someone staring straight into camera.
Yeah, and just fade.
And then it fade, and it slowly changes. But they do a homage to that, because there's a bit where you see him turn his face and he looks straight at the camera going, just like they did in the old, the Chaney films and all that stuff. So
I thought that. I found that jarring, actually.
You didn't like him looking at the camera?
No.
I did.
Because
it fits
I didn't get that
perfectly with this film. This is the kind of film, if anything's that can turn to camera, it can be this film.
Can it? Why?
Yeah, because the comedy, the funny, it's fun.
Well, but I think the comedy is a bit hit and miss.
I agree.
And I don't think that's off the. I think even back then, I think it would have been hit and miss.
Right,
I don't think
hits and misses.
Well, it's more misses than hits.
Oh
really.
no!
I agree.
I thought it was funny when you saw the posh couple in the porno going, "Oh, hello, nice to meet you."
Yeah, Sean and whatever her name.
Yeah, but again, it's like the Tramps are John Landis's view of what.
Yes,
it's like Dick Van Dyke as a tramp.
Yeah, and actually that posh couple, when they're approaching the building, and he goes, "Come on, let's go round the back. We'll scare Harry." Yeah. And the girlfriend kind of goes, "Oh, Sean, you're crazy."
Yeah.
Jesus. But also, if you went round the back of that building, you'd be in somebody else's house because they don't own it.
I was
a big
always
mansion
fascinated
flat,
about this ever since I was a kid. I was like, what? They've got a garden. There are certain roads actually around central London. You get these sort of back gardens that face onto the back of the flats. I've always made a note of it, and it always reminds me.
Well, there we go. I stand corrected.
But what about the porno? Like you say, you're in the porno. That bit where the big fella, they're getting romantic or whatever. The big fella comes and goes, "I thought you said you were going to be alone tonight." And the guy said, "I never said such thing."
Not you.
I don't know who you are.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so the lines are obviously working because they're standing out for you guys. Right, let's go back a little bit because I want to talk a bit about the slaughtered lamb.
Yes.
All right, because that's kind of a big setup, and I think we've got in there Brian Glover.
Yeah. Joe Belcher.
Rick Mail, as you said.
Yeah, Rick Mail.
Who's the wrestler? The main guy.
Brian Glover.
Shut up, don't say anything.
Brian Glover.
Is that his name?
Say it again, Brian Glover.
Oh. I never knew.
Alien 3. We seem to have an alien up into
He is in
prison.
Alien 3.
Yeah.
I quite like Alien 3.
Yeah.
But I never realised Brian Glover was that attractive. He's got nice eyes. He's got nice eyes. They remind me of what's his face? Tom Hardy's. He's a bit Tom Hardy. He is.
Well, what do we think of that scene? Because that's kind of our first
Brilliant.
proper scene.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
I want to drink in the Slaughtered Lamb a lot.
Yeah.
Because they have the jokes about the Alamo. They all go quiet when you walk in.
Yeah.
I love that.
Brilliant performance. I don't. Who played the barmaid, I should say.
I have not got a clue. But
No, but we have technology now. You see, this is.
Lila Kay.
I thought she was brilliant.
Yeah, she was very good.
Yeah,
But again, that's actually your comment earlier about it's Landis's view of Britain.
yeah.
He got the slaughtered lamb perfect.
I think
it was just that kind
But,
of rural.
but I suppose that was like the Rover's Return.
Well, but
Just in the
it
country.
is that kind of rural community with a dark secret.
Yeah.
As soon as they walk in, it's jovial. They're playing darts. They're laughing. They're talking. The two Americans walk in. It's everybody looks at them. Nobody says a word.
Yeah.
And then it all kind of the pace picks up again a little bit. But
What's that on the wall?
her British service is brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Can I have a coffee? No.
Oh yeah.
A hot chocolate? No. If you want something hot, you can have tea. Have you got tea? No. But I can make you some.
Brilliant. Well, so maybe we're being a bit too harsh on the script because.
So that bits of it, I think, worked brilliantly.
Although it's a bit hammy,
You two are being harsh on the script. I'm not being harsh on the script. I think it's
well, if you'd have let me
great
finish, I was about to say,
Go on.
actually, the script may be a lot better than we're giving it credit for because there are lots of stand. We're quoting it,
In
and we
patches,
don't do that very often.
Yeah.
I'm glad I've turned you around.
In patches.
You haven't turned me around. I know John Landis, and I went to see it at the beer.
You do. Well, you say, okay, so we say that John Landis sort of nailed the Slaughtered Lamb, and I agree. You know, we are a country of quirks and strange idiosyncrasies, but I think, albeit very, big fat brushstrokes and stuff, I think he does a really good job throughout. All the posh, the underground, the NHS, London, the bobbing,
But I do think
the
it's
cabbie,
his interpretation
the
of that.
and all that.
So the cabbies.
I think genuinely he kind of nails it, and I kind of feel that time when I watch that film. It is a lovely little document of early 80s.
He certainly gets all the landmarks in.
He does, doesn't he? of London, and the cabbie, the characters, the pornos, the constable, the police constable, and all that kind of stuff. It is there through the fat brush.
But that was.
I think it's great.
Yeah, but I think the clumsiness that the hit and miss element of the comedy. There's some real clumsiness where.
Yeah, what was the bad ones?
Well, some just really clumsy when the two police officers, the detective sergeant and the sergeant, are in the doctor's room, and the junior police officer turns around, kicks the, and it's just like,
and then doesn't open the door, or just stands at the door.
Yeah, and then it's just so obviously manufactured for a bit of a this is funny, but it isn't funny.
It is.
It wasn't Clouseau though. He was grasping at Clouseau and he missed.
When he knocks the tin over, that bit is funny, and fair enough.
It's not
other
funny.
bits are not as funny as the other bits.
And then, when they leave that meeting, they just manufacture this reason why the junior guy says something else so that his boss can shut the door in his face. But he's not close enough to the door when he turns around. He turns around, the door's shut, and he pauses as if it's kind of like, you could almost imagine him looking over his shoulder and kind of go, "This is a joke. It's funny, innit?" No.
Yes.
I tell you what, I found hard watching it, which I didn't remember, is The Wolf. It really has dated badly.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, I mean there was. The close-ups of the face worked, and I like when he was sneering and then it stopped sneering. But you see
at
it
the
in
end.
a shot.
Yeah.
What shot? Any shot where it goes to attack, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, but
guys.
But I'm not to say I don't like this film.
No. And there are some. It is.
I really like this wolf. There's obviously lots of films about werewolves. I really like this. It's like
there's
shape
like two
of
different wolves though. That's I think maybe that's part of your point, that the wolf during the transition.
Yeah.
You kind of think, I'm going to get this amazing wolf, and then you actually get a really fluffy.
Rug.
He is a lot
weird.
fluffier, yeah.
The face isn't the same.
He's been down a barber.
You absolutely. The face is
It's a
completely
different
different.
wolf. Yeah.
Right, listen, I've got. I think we should wrap it up really, because we're kind of talking a lot. Unless anyone's got a lot more to say about it.
No, again, just I suppose it's it's that document, I suppose, of London that I think is also such a great thing about it. Obviously, the story is great, the effects are great. When you first see Jack turn up in his hospital ward, as it were, he's got this little flappy bit of skin that is just a beautiful bit of magic.
Little bit. It's
no. There's one
right.
little bit of flappy skin which is just gorgeous. And then obviously the development of Jack and that whole concept of all the people that he's killed coming back to him, I think it's just fantastic. I think it's smart, I think it's cleverly written, efficiently written, brilliant special effects. But that document, there's a scene where he calls his family, David calls his family and just wants to tell them that he loves them because he knows he's got to kill himself. And it slowly goes around and you see on the side of the red police box, phone box, it's scrawled in there, you've got the Jam, and you've got the Sex Pistols scrawled in there as well. It's just like,
so it's timeless. All right, Wyn, you had something else.
Incidentally, they were going to cut that scene when he calls them up on to say that he loves them on the DVD release because they thought that would date it because he's using a public phone.
Right.
But they didn't.
That's what they were worried about.
That's what they were worried about. Not the wolf.
I think it's probably worth actually quickly talking about the horror elements because it's a horror film, right?
Yeah.
And we haven't touched on those really.
Exactly.
And for me, the bits when he's in the hospital bed, he's recovering, and he's having these weird dreams.
Yeah.
The weird zombie
wolves,
Nazis.
wolves.
Party invaders.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That was
big time.
Wow.
Yeah,
I was
good.
not expecting that, and they're really good effects. Looks brilliant.
Yeah.
And is proper unsettling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
I
he
thought that was
wakes
really good.
up, and then there's Jenny.
And then he pulls the curtain, and the dude's there stabs her.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I thought
Brilliant.
that stuff was really good. And you're right, Jack Goodman, I think is the character name. But when he's coming back as the Walking Dead, his kind of degradation over time, I think is really good. Although when he arrives in the porn cinema, or he invites him into the porn cinema,
where he's full on, he's a robot now.
it's not the actor anymore.
Yeah.
You kind of go, okay, but it was 1981. But yeah,
Still
the bits like that I thought were really good.
It reminded me a little bit of King Kong at the end as well, when she went to try and save him.
I just didn't.
situation.
That for me, I think was the biggest problem for me was I just didn't buy that relationship between David and Nurse Alice.
Yeah, because it's super duper
It's
quick.
as you say.
You just go with it.
Let's just get to the point where they're boning, and and it doesn't matter how we get
and
there.
they decide to put a love scene in there.
Yeah, well, that's just
that was
your
for me.
benefit. Yeah, that was for your benefit.
Fantabulous night for rewind. And that's the thing. So both these films, 1981. That was kind of the time when it was actually.
Look, we're gonna have to move on.
Okay.
Because we're coming back to 1981 in a minute, aren't we?
We are.
Go on, I feel bad now.
No, do it. I'll pick it up later.
All right. Okay, let's score it, shall we?
Yep.
All right, performances. I've given it a 6.
4.
6.
Effects. Laurie.
8.
I've gone 8.
8.
Whee!
Plot. 8.
8.
6.
Rewatch factor. Win.
3.
8. Oh, direction. 7.
6.
8.
Cinematography.
4.
7.
7. Sound of music.
7.
9.
Ooh, 6.
Well, the music was perfect.
It's all our tunes, though, isn't it? You know you're in safe company the minute it opens. You're like,
Yeah, but that's why I've given it a high
great
score.
soundtrack. But he did the Blues Brothers, so obviously Landis is very au fait with.
Do you know what? I thought he did
Power of
Ghostbusters for ages, and then I realised he hadn't. I'm glad I didn't talk to him about that.
I just want to quickly add, actually, the reason how John Landis managed to get Trafalgar Square. to film that for those amount of days. It took 3 days, I think. He basically bribed the police, the British police, Metropolitan Police, by having private screenings of the Blues Brothers. He gave them 2 exclusive nights for them to go in. It's all just them. No one else has seen it. And they went, yeah, all right, then you can have London for a couple of days.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
So that's why he
Simpler times, eh? All right. Originality. 9. I thought it was original.
It's just great. He came up with the idea when he was on a shoot when he was a young guy and people were burying dead bodies in the ground and saying prayers so the dead bodies wouldn't come back to life.
Yes, I heard that.
Gave him the idea.
Why did I hear that?
7.
Enjoyability.
5.
9. I do enjoy this film a lot.
8.
Maybe I'm being harsh. Maybe it was
Life
6.
change. Well, yeah, but if you are being harsh, you have to stick at being harsh because you're always harsh.
Yeah, just,
That's true.
Life changing, past or present. I've given it a 5.
it was very informative for me.
And it had Jenny Agati's
I've got
chest.
a beautiful singing voice.
And 0 for me. What was your?
It's a 7.
Okay, so my total is 76.
Mine's 50.
Oh God, I got to do the maths.
Okay, hold on. I can do this. I can do it. All right, so we had 76, and we had 50, and we had.
Don't forget, carry the 1.
75.
All right, which gives it a Lighthouse rating of 67.
There we go. Where does it sit? God damn it.
Let's have a look. Okay, so it sits just below Salem's Lot and above Donnie Darko.
Yes.
I think that's a good place to put it.
Yeah, I'm happy between those two. As the overall score, though, I'm furious with Phantom of the Paradise is and House. I'm just heartbroken to see them down there. But
Well,
anyway.
no, Phantom of the Paradise is number 3.
Is it?
Yeah.
Alright, that's not so bad.
And House
Where's
is
House?
7.
No, I'm furious. Livid.
Okay, let's do the next film. All right, so the next one is... I've forgotten what it's called.
Scanners.
Scanners. All right, so let's have a trailer.
I would like to scan all of you in this room, one at a time. I must remind you that the scanning experience is usually a painful one, sometimes resulting in nosebleeds, earaches, stomach cramps, nausea, sometimes other symptoms of a similar nature. At this point, I'd like to call for volunteers.
All right, here we go. Scanners. So, it was released in 1981, obviously. Director David Cronenberg. Screenplay David Cronenberg. And a box office of 14 million USA gross. So who was
good, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Who was in it, Wim?
So you've got Jennifer O'Neill, Stephen Lack, Patrick McGowan, the wonderful Michael Ironside.
Sorry, Patrick McGowan from Prisoner.
Yeah. And a lot of Columbo episodes. He's always the baddie.
And Lawrence Dane.
All right. Okay, so before we get into the film, has anyone got a tenuous link? Can anyone link our two films this month? I tried for a while and I couldn't do it.
Okay.
I can.
Okay.
Is yours solid? Link. Mine may require, I'll start saying it, we'll fade out, and then we'll fade back into the end.
Okay.
Do you want to go first?
I'm happy to. So I automatically assumed I was just going to make one up, because that's really what I do. But one of our listeners, again, we reach around the world.
Yeah.
Reach around? We have a listener in Canada. Connor.
Canada.
Canada.
Yeah.
Connor in Canada. I directly posed him the challenge because I know he's a big movie buff.
So you didn't do the work yourself?
I didn't do the work myself, no. But
what did Connor say? Come on, Connor. What you got?
Connor dug around in the Canadian outback and he found the fact that both Scanners and An American Werewolf in London both had to accept an X certificate to go into British cinemas uncut.
Ooh,
fantastic!
That's a good link.
That is a good, solid, well done, Connor.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What's yours?
So this is all around the time, isn't it, where they were trying to desperately figure out the ratings of films and what sort of audience would be allowed to kind of watch this stuff.
As opposed to what other time?
I don't.
They've been doing that for years.
Well, yeah, I suppose, yeah. Well, like Herschel G. Lewis when we did Blood Feast. At that time, no. They had these like drive-in cinemas, kids, the whole family.
Oh, really? Were they not rated
all this
then?
stuff, and it was soon after that those Blood Feast, weird, obscure kind of gore films started coming out a lot faster. Suddenly, America thought, whoa, we probably need to regulate this stuff. And that probably took a while. And then we had the phenomenon of video coming out. And this is my link. All right. So you had, I think it was 1975, something like that, Betamax.
Yeah.
First was invented. A year later, VHS. So you had your first phenomena of the format wars, as it were. It was the first time it ever happened in existence. But then, like you quite rightly said earlier on in the podcast, home video recording machines probably turned up around 81, 82, 83 across those years. And Scanners and the American Werewolf in London were like the top, two of the top three that really boosted that home rental explosion, really. So I think the number one spot was The Thing, but that came out in 1982. But these two came out in 1981. And it's probably down to the fact that the video machine gave you this mind-blowing control of being able to stop a film, pause a film, but when I say pause, I mean render the actor's cucaracha. But you could rewind it. And because these films have those...
Which is why you enjoyed Jenny Agutter so much.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Fantabulous night. Fantabulous night. Honestly.
I don't know if I told you this story, but when we first got our video player, I can't remember the first film we watched, but at the end of it, it was my job to rewind it, so I had to hold my finger on the rewind button, and it took about because we didn't know
you never realised you could just
stop and rewind,
it.
so I had to. So it took about 30 minutes to rewind the film back to the start.
Is that why that index finger is so much shorter than the other one?
Absolutely.
I'll never criticise your pointing again.
All right.
But no, I haven't finished my tenuous point. So, actually, no, I've lost my point now. It's because these two films, Scanners, The American Werewolf in London, it's down to the effects. It's down to those moments, that transformation scene in American Werewolf in London, the head scene in Scanners, the end brother-on-brother battle scene. They're both those kind of films where you want to go and rewind. So they're basically, out of the top three, it was The Thing, then it was closely followed by American Werewolf in London, and then... Scanners were the top three
Brilliant.
I remember.
Good stuff. Well, look, I mean, I loved your link, but I think we've got to give it to Wyndham this week, haven't we?
And
Connor.
Yeah,
Connor.
Yeah.
Well done, Connor. All right, so first impressions. This one is very clear in my mind because, again, going back to the video cover, but I remember vividly the exploding head. And I don't know if I saw it on Channel 4 or something, but there was a huge excitement around this film for me because of what is it and the power of the mind. And it wasn't like you could get away from these people. You were trapped in a room. It doesn't matter where you were, they could kill you just by looking at you. So I remember the head exploding scene very clearly.
The head will be in your mind as well a lot because on whenever you had your video, you'd always have the trailers at the beginning of the films. You get 3 or 4 good trailers.
Absolutely, yes.
And Scanners was a regular offender.
You're absolutely right. It must have been on nearly all of them.
Yeah. I think that was as discreet to put in that trailer. Poof! A massive head exploding time and time again.
How about you, Wim?
Again. And I think it's because these films, they have those signature moments that you're aware of even if you haven't seen the film. Think, I thought I'd seen it and I hadn't.
Mm-hmm.
Again.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was watching when you were watching these films. Not these films.
Not these films.
Yeah. And then I think this is why I'm coming at them much more harshly than you are, because I'm watching as a 42-year-old.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, very possibly. This would have been, I can't remember the exact time, but it definitely would have been like BBC 2 or Channel 4's lomped it on, probably BBC 2 to be fair, late at night, likely going to be in black and white, so maybe the gore is sort of less vivid. It didn't make a major shake on me, so it's probably a little bit later when I really started getting into films, so probably early 20s. I really kind of sat down and watched it, and I knew I really liked it. But reviewing it now, actually paying it like full attention, watching it, I've realised there's a lot. It's a better film actually than I ever really thought it was. There's more to it.
I'm going to disagree with you, I'm afraid.
Yes, fine.
I watched it and I was bored.
When you first saw it?
No, I'm talking about now.
Yeah.
So when I watched it again, I couldn't even watch it all in one go. I had to keep stopping it, coming back to it. I thought I thought the characterisation was dull. I thought the acting was poor. The plot was plodding. I really struggled with this, really badly. When
I agree with the sentiment of almost all of that. I mean, I didn't have to watch it in 2 goes, and I quite enjoyed it. But I agree. I think the performances are. Patrick McGoohan is good.
Yeah.
And he just got this beautiful voice that you kind of get sucked into. But so he's good. And I have a very soft spot for Michael Ironside.
Yeah. He's
great
in this.
But the point is, when he comes on towards the very end of the film, the feel changes completely because he can act. Yeah. And the guy who plays Cameron Vale, Stephen Lack, appears to have skipped acting class. Because I agree with you. I think some of the performances are just really difficult to go, oh my God.
Yeah.
Can I just say really quickly, can we make Michael Ironside, is that his name?
Yeah.
An honorary lighthouse keeper?
Yes!
Because
give him some keys.
He's been in loads of our films and I think he's brilliant. Give him some keys. Yeah.
He's been a couple.
Well, he can turn the light or whatever they do.
He loves it.
It doesn't. We don't have to turn it. It just. I keep basically the wick trimmed. I keep that light burning. It's fine.
Give him a job. He'll have to have something.
He could have a job.
Stoke the fire.
You could stoke the fire or clear up that mess over there.
Yeah.
There's like
sweep the floor.
Laurie, I interrupted. Go.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So you say the performances, and I suspect probably not because you're both very intelligent, but I suspect it's because the lead protagonist is he's so bad. He's so flat. He drags it down. He kind of drags everyone else down with him, bless him. I think all the other performances around it are absolutely fine. Some of them are great. I think like Ironside in this is great. But yeah, Lack, bless his heart, he's really kind of pulled down and almost like rabbit in the headlights, which actually turns out is not far from the truth because it says obviously Cronenberg wrote this, directed this, and he did. But he wrote it on the hoof. They'd be on set and he'll turn up on the day of shooting, filming with like some scraps of paper. And they're filming this film completely out of sequence, and he went up to Lack and was like, okay, right, you're doing this, and he's like, what? Okay. So every sort of
why was it
point
so
of view
rushed
from that character, I don't know if it was well, I haven't got a clue. I don't know.
I don't know where it is in the canon of Cronenberg. I mean, has he made a few films before this?
I think it's probably about his third or fourth film, actually.
Right.
He'd done a few. He'd done Rabid. He'd done Brood before this, Right. And this was his first sort of shot at kind of getting into that mainstream. Because it's fairly simple. It's an interesting concept and stuff like that. But as I say, back to the acting stuff. I think it's Lack that really pulls it down. But perversely, I quite like it because Cronenberg's got this kind of line through his work. He's got this really sort of detached sort of feeling. You know, we reviewed Crash. It's got that sort of detachment about it.
Yes.
And you kind of get that in Lack's
soulless. It hasn't got a soul.
So that's what Lack said. He said he found it really hard. Every single day he turned up, he had not got a clue what he was doing, and every single line he delivered was basically a question. I'm a scanner. What the hell is that?
Yeah,
my brother. What the hell is that? But what's it called? What's the drug called?
Ephemeral.
What is that? But should we go into the synopsis?
Wyndham. No, I was just going to say that, you know, all films are shot out of sequence.
No, but he had no idea what he was doing.
I think that's evident.
No, yeah, exactly. He came in and he was like, "This is what you're doing."
I take your point, but and I kind of think I was when I was watching it, I was thinking, you know, the character is supposed to have never managed to integrate into society, has no learning, has no understanding of how to build relationships, all that kind of stuff. And you go, okay, so you can be a bit weird, but then he's sent out as the spy to manipulate his way into.
Yeah, that's for a reason. Like, we know why, exactly why.
I understand that, but those two character traits are non-compatible in the plot that this film needs it to. The position he needs to get himself into, they're non-compatible. I thought anyway.
He pulls it off in the end, doesn't he?
Doesn't he?
What's the synopsis of it, James?
Well, it's
You're really not a fan of this, are you?
No, for God's sake, I'll give it a go. Shall I do it?
Well, I was only breathing. It's about a world where there are people with telepathic abilities called scanners, and big business, big industry are trying to get hold of them for their own ends.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And there's a rogue scanner out there.
There's a rogue scanner that's basically finding all the scanners that Consect have been sort of nurturing and interested in studying, but this rogue one is sort of killing them off. And so Consect finds this.
That's it. That's the sort of
bum
can't
and
say too much more.
Employ him as an agent to go out and get the rogue one.
Yeah, but I just thought I was bored.
I wasn't
dull. I'll tell you what I did like. I quite like the artworks. Bit.
Yeah, they were good.
You know, I was trying to find out who did the artwork because I thought the head was really impressive.
Yeah. So basically, so we've got like the agent that's trying to find the baddie. And there's one scanner that he's trying to track down that could be able to give him information. And that particular scanner is basically because when you're a scanner, you can hear everyone's thoughts in your head. You're constantly drowned and swamped by this, everyone thinking, fuck. You're going crazy. So this guy has managed to put all that into his art. So he gets
but that is just
gets those sounds out of his head.
It's all just excuses to show something visually interesting. So visually, you know, with the exploded head and the artwork, it looks all right. But there's no real reason. There
is a reason, though. I thought about this. So
there was a really kind of weak reason. Oh, because I'm an artist and I get inside my own head. But it doesn't help move the plot along.
Yeah, it does.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. Well, because so you got the opening sequence where the guy's sat nicking a hot dog off of a plate that's been half eaten or whatever, and two women are dissing him, and so Cronenberg basically has to explain to us. He can hear what they're saying, which is fine. He uses sound. You can hear their words, and you see the guy's face looking back at them, and then the sound slowly gets.
He gets the point
gets
across.
like that. Yeah. So
that's not the problem, but there is no.
So he's
story.
limited. He's limited on how you can get inside a scanner's head and experience what they're feeling, kind of thing. So he's got that opportunity where he's got this artist. Basically, David Cameron can't get a camera inside a scanner's head and get that perspective.
Is that David Cameron, the ex-Prime Minister of the United Kingdom?
Cronenberg. Cameron came along.
But how come when Michael Ironside is on and we're seeing him when he was in the institution?
Yeah,
that was all really gripping. He had a hole in his head and all that kind of stuff. Suddenly interested in what's going on with his character.
Yeah.
So
that's because he's
a brilliant performer.
It's because he's acting.
Yeah.
It's basically what's dragging you down is lax performance. It just drags the shit out of it.
It does.
It really does drag the shit out of it. But it's fine. The moment you get over that, you actually just
get all the way in through it.
It doesn't drag. The film doesn't drag. It opens up. You're off. He gets chased by two agents. Gets shot. There, you're ephemeral.
I thought it
all
dragged.
That kind of stuff. I didn't.
I think it had slow points, but I don't. I think I'm probably between the two of you, which is a warm and cosy place to be.
But the sound is very important.
Let's talk about the sound a little bit. It reminded me a bit of The Shining, the score, a little bit.
Yeah.
With the blong.
Yeah, it's good. But I think it's more of that Cronenberg using it as that sort of storytelling piece or that experience telling piece of the whole scanning phenomena. So when he's scanning those two women, it literally floods the whole sound, so you can't hear any of the action. You can just hear and all this stuff's going on. So it's from the scanner's brain. It's from his perspective.
I think it's a great idea.
The sound's really cool. The sound's a really cool thing.
Okay.
And it is, like I say, that Cronenberg trying to give that idea of basically when you scan, it's one nervous system connecting to another, but without contact.
Yeah.
So he uses a face upon somebody else's face, and it blurs. So it's kind of that gives you the connection.
Yeah.
He uses sound, that kind of gives you the connection. But like when you say the art, how's another way you can get inside a head? He literally gets a massive, great big head, the size of a house, and puts the camera in that as well. So
and then there's that other.
Use it as an artwork. It's another way of getting the camera inside a head.
But that made it visually interesting. I did think that was good.
Yeah, so there is a purpose. He didn't just do it just because it looks good.
Because there is that second artwork where there's a guy kind of sat down and these lines going out of his head to other people above him and kind of their consciousness pouring into his.
And he's going mad.
Yeah.
That's the scanner. Yeah. See, it is quite basic GCSE art, I will admit.
Yeah.
Quite liked it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I think there are a couple of. I kind of get all of that, but again, there are elements in this a little bit like in an American Werewolf in London, where the liberties taken in to get a piece of information across to the audience. So there's the classic saying, "Show, don't tell."
Yeah.
Yeah. So the audience feels like they're discovering something, whereas the bits there are big chunks in this where it's like, actually, I'm going to have to tell you this because we don't. I can't get this across. I've only got 20 more minutes of the film. I'm thinking of Patrick McGoohan. Once they've captured Jennifer O'Neill's character and Vane's character, and they're in the institution, and Patrick McGoohan's character is kind of sat there, kind of going, "Not like before. Allow me just to fill you in what happened before."
That
bit of exposition there.
Oh God!
Exactly. That bit is really weird because he's like because they're just talking, and you never go into that character's head, into Ruth's head.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he gets taken away. And it's like, no, the computer's more important. The computer, ripe. Remember ripe?
Yeah.
Oh, so cruel. And you're like, what the fuck is going on here? It's really out of order with the character.
I was just going to say about the computer. I was appalled at that concept that you can psychically link with a computer.
What's wrong with that?
With the circuitry and stuff, it was just stupid.
No, it's not. He's a scanner. So the evolution of computer stuff, digital stuff, is getting to that. It's more and more fluid. So maybe some point in the future, it could think and be an equivalent to organic thinking.
So is he trying to make a point? Is he trying to make a point? Because that's what it felt like to me. He wasn't trying to tell a story and give us an enjoyable, interesting film. He was trying to make a variety of points throughout it, which
I don't think so.
It was like being in a lecture.
No, I don't think he is making a point in this film.
In fact, we were in a lecture, weren't we, for a bit of it? And then that guy's head blew up. I really didn't like it. Yeah. I'm sorry. And I remember really liking it when I was a kid, but I obviously didn't understand anything about the film then.
The final battle. So you find out
is brilliant.
But they made that up at the end because it was shit. Apparently, they had to write that in.
Well, because that was
Wyndham.
You're going.
Right, I forgot what I was going to say now.
The final battle.
Oh yeah, so you find out that they're brothers.
Yes.
Michael Ironside's character, Ravik, and the abysmally poor actor Stephen Lack, Cameron Vale. You find out that they're brothers, and you find out that the Patrick McGowan's character, Ruth, has caused it all.
Yeah.
He created a drug, and his company prescribed this drug to pregnant women, and it made their babies into scanners.
Yeah.
So at the end,
and those two were his sons.
Yeah. So they're his sons, and as a result, they're the most powerful. I didn't quite understand why.
No, because they're the oldest. They're the oldest.
Oh, so they've grown into their power.
Constantly keeping the dosage because he knew something weird was going on. And once they were born, he kept it up because he realised shit was going down. And that's why he has this weird, strange meltdown. You know, the computer bit where he's like, "What?" And then you suddenly get this huge turnaround about that character.
But that final battle where Ravik's character, Michael Ironside's character Ravik, is trying to persuade Vale to join him and then kind of take over the world. Mm-hmm. And when Vale says he's not going to, they get into a scan off.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not very tense.
Oh,
you've got
a visual joke there.
You've got Michael Ironside gurning on one hand, and you go, good gurning, and then it cuts to Vale, and Vale's gurning.
This is back to the challenge that Cronenberg must have faced, though, just trying
he should have written
how
a
to
different
get
film.
that perspective, you know, all those limitations of film to try and get what the hell is going on. And you're absolutely right, they had to completely reshoot it, because I think the original concept was they were just gurning at each other, and that was it.
I'm trying to think.
So they wrote to a guy called Dick Smith. They sent him the shots of these two guys gurning with them, and they said, "Please, can you save this?" And Dick Smith was the guy that worked on The Exorcist. He did all the effects for The Exorcist. He went, "All right, I've got some ideas." And that's why you get all these.
So all the veins popping up.
In my opinion, some beautiful vein work. Some of the best vein work I've seen.
It is good vein work.
And when he starts tearing his flesh off, it's like, oh my god! When the fire. And then you get the last bit with Ironside looking up with the
brilliant effects, very good effects,
and Vale's eyes popping.
Yeah. You said you didn't think it was?
It wasn't very tense because it was.
I loved it.
No, I didn't not like it, but I just didn't think. You know, in those kind of final battle scenes type things, you feel it's ratcheting up. Typically, there's a ratcheting of the tension.
Yeah.
And because they weren't physically, and I get it, I understand why they weren't.
It was ratcheting for me.
All right, but I tell you what, a film that came out a couple of years before that, which was about telekinesis, Carrie. Now, I was trying to think, it was in the back of my mind now, I was trying to think about how much tension Carrie could just do with a look like that and no reactions.
Yeah.
Now, that was brilliant. And it was. I think it comes back to the performance.
We've got Lack here. If Ironside was up against some other kid,
I think you're right. I think it was a terrible lead.
Yeah.
Terrible lead.
That's just the flaw of this film. But
I think so.
As consumers of film, we don't expect something so fucking flat. And I actually perversely quite like it. I like the fact that it's there.
Yeah.
Okay,
I thought.
Go on.
No, just one quick one. I thought Michael Ironside looked a lot like Jack Nicholson throughout this film.
Yeah,
really did.
I think so.
I think he was playing Jack Nicholson.
I've got this theory. So you've got this thing in Hollywood. If people kind of look like people, and they've got zephyrs of famous actors, they get employed. And
Right.
Ironside's definitely one of those ones, and I think it's a link with Jack Nicholson. I think Christian Slater probably got his career as well because he's got that Nicholson thing.
When was The Shining? 80? I
Yes,
think it
I
was.
think so.
I think it was the year before.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was 1980.
Yeah.
Ironside is demonic in this.
Yeah.
He's demonic.
He's
And
brilliant. He is brilliant. He really is. Are we going to have a picture of him in the living room of the lighthouse?
I think so.
We need to have a lighthouse up on our website.
Definitely.
We've got a website.
So first we need a website. And
Then we'll have a lighthouse.
Yeah.
Should we talk a little bit about the special effects?
Yeah.
I think that is the redeeming qualities. I mean, visually, like I said, I thought the artwork was really, really good to look at. And I thought that obviously the exploding head, I don't think anyone's done an exploding head quite that good before or since.
Do you know how he did it?
I do.
Let's hear it.
Well, they had a shotgun put behind the head, but inside the head, I've forgotten now. I think they've got some half-eaten burgers, some flappy bits of string,
Some dog food.
Dog food,
blood,
yeah.
And then they just
And it's just shot it with a...
shot it with a shotgun.
It's a good effect.
Yeah.
And I think one of the slightly a little bit frustrating thing about it is you get that quite early and it smacks you in the
That
face.
scene's supposed to have been
at the end.
No,
Oh.
the opening scene.
Oh, was that right? And they moved it back.
He was persuaded, really reluctantly. They were saying, "Cronin, my boy, you cannot put this right at the front." He goes, "But I'm a poet. Poets are allowed to position." Shut up! Don't put it right at the front. Put it a little bit later. And he went, "Okay." So
Do you
it's
know
supposed to
what?
be right at the front.
Right, and I don't know if I'm misremembering this, but when I went to watch this, I thought the opening scene was of the head exploding, and I was shocked to find it was about 15 minutes in. And I'm sure
It's
I
still
saw it
pretty
on
early.
Channel
Yeah.
4, and I'm wondering if I saw some sort of...
Pre-cut.
Cronenberg had taken over Channel 4.
Well, I don't know.
I'm such a
Because I
poet.
really remember it being the first. Look, we have talked quite a lot.
We have.
So should we score it?
We shall. One little interesting...
final thoughts,
A little
yeah.
fact. Oh, go on.
Right.
Go on, fact, and
A
I've got
little
final
fact. So right at the end, she walks back into the room. She's awesome, by the way. I really like her. I think she's
Jennifer O'Neill.
Yes, she's saucy. And you see that our man's been burnt to a crisp. Oh my God. And then over in the corner there's a
Hidden under a
thing.
coat.
And oh my God, it's Ironside. Ironside's won. The baddies won.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, "We've won." And it's David, but he's got David's eyes. Those contact lenses are Dustin Hoffman's contact lenses from Big Little Man, because the ones they had on set kept hurting Ironside's eyes because he had a little cut on his eyes. And Dick was there, the oldest effects guys, who went, "Well, actually, you've got something in my pocket here. Wait a minute." And obviously takes off a bald sweet or whatever.
Yeah.
"Oh, I've got a couple of Dustins here. Try out Dustins." So they're Dustin's contact lenses.
Wow.
That's that.
Wow. Okay.
And my last point on it would be that final bit. Lackey isn't even in the scene, and he manages to screw up that last bit.
Right.
Go on, Lackey, son. Right, I'm
All
putting
right.
a picture of Lack over here. Ironside's there.
Let's score it. All right. So performances 3.
I've given it 5 because of Patrick McGowan and Michael Ironside.
That's why I gave it 3. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go 5.
Okay. Effects
8.
9.
I'm actually, yeah, I am. Oh, that brother scene is just so good. 9. Yeah, it's done.
Plot
7.
I'm saying 7. I thought you'd be much lower than this.
4.
Ooh,
I quite like the plot.
Rewatch factor 2.
7.
3.
Direction 5.
7.
4.
Cinematography
3.
5.
7. Sounds and music
5.
6.
5.
The sound for me is getting an 8.
Okay. Originality 8.
7.
7.
Enjoyability
5.
3.
6.
And life-changing past or present, I've given it a 5.
0.
5.
Alright, so let's top up the scores.
This is always bad. Is there any incidental music?
No, but last time I cut.
Oh, well done.
I'll use my sheet. Hold on, one last time. But every time I say I'm going to use my sheet, it's too good to admit. So I'll probably leave it in now. Okay. All right. Are we all there?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, Wyndham.
48.
Laurie.
66.
James. 52. Right. So 52. Wyndham, what yours was?
48.
And Laurie, yours was?
All the sixes.
66.
Is that anything in bingo?
The devil.
Clickety click.
Satan. Satan's spawn. Okay, it gives it a movie lighthouse rating of 55.3.
All right.
Okay, which puts it 55.3. Just above Critters and just below Cujo. God, that's quite high in my opinion.
I don't think it makes the top 10 then, does it?
No, it doesn't, thankfully.
Doesn't make the leaderboard.
No, it does not.
Ah.
There we go. All right.
But I guess the final word would be it's worth watching for 15 minutes to see the head explode.
No.
All right. Okay, so as I said at the start of the show, it's our birthday episode next week. Birthday show next time, rather. So we're going to do something a little bit different. We're not going to do the bag of balls. I
missed the bag of balls. We didn't use it last time.
I know, but I brought it today because I thought you'd think I'd lost it. So I wanted to prove it. I have here 3 golden envelopes.
They are actually golden.
Yeah.
And they're envelopes.
Yeah. And basically, what you're going to do is choose one of the 4 set of envelopes.
Yeah.
And inside is a genre. Everybody next month gets to pick. I'm sorry. Every time I'm just Steven Universe now. I just smiled for the camera and I was like, "This."
Someone came in and took a photo.
There was a genre.
Yeah.
So you get your genre. You get to pick a film for us to review. We're going to review 3 films next month. 1 each for our birthday.
Okay.
Laurie.
Very exciting.
Wyndham.
Thank you.
So surely these genres can only be one of 3, right?
Well, yeah. Right. So let's see what everybody's got.
Your saliva is strong. I can't. Jesus, you got a blowtorch.
I like it. It's at the Oscars. You saved money on the piece of paper inside.
What have you got?
Horror.
Laurie is on horror.
Yeah.
I have science fiction.
And I have got fantasy.
Yeah.
All right, so choose your film. I've already got mine because I've obviously had ages to think about it.
Yeah.
So when you've got your film in your head, let's come back and we'll tell each other what we are going to be watching.
Okay.
Triple bill, guys. All right, so we're back. We have chosen. Okay, so I got fantasy, so I'm going to say mine first.
Go for it.
I am going to choose The Dark Crystal.
Ah, that's cute.
Yeah, I've been one. I thought it was good enough time as ever.
Yeah. What other things were like bubbling underneath?
Nothing. Right, Laurie, what have you got?
Well, I found it tricky. Surprise, surprise.
Uh-huh.
I had. Is it going to be the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Is it
good
going to
film.
be Reg?
Wow.
It's The Exorcist, the version you've never seen.
Is that what you've chosen?
Yeah.
We're doing The Exorcist.
We're doing The Exorcist, the version you've
what does that
never
mean?
How
seen.
are we going to find it?
What does that
It's a
mean?
specific cut of it.
Called the version you've never seen.
Yeah.
Is that
And I've seen it loads of times.
Well,
but I
how
still haven't changed the
how are we
title.
going to find it?
What do you mean, how are you going to find it? I don't know how you're going to find it. On DVD, it might be out there. I don't know.
Is it called the version you've never seen?
Yeah. On Amazon, you probably get it for £3 used.
I've already got The Exorcist. Do I have to buy another one?
Yeah, well, I can lend
Have
you
you got
mine,
it?
bruv.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I've got it.
All right, so we've got The Exorcist.
The version you've never seen.
We've got The Exorcist and we've got Dark Crystal.
So my genre was sci-fi,
Yeah.
and I'm obviously picking the best film ever made. Paul Verhoeven's
And we'll explain a little bit more next week about why we think that is such a wonderful choice.
I'm very excited.
All right, better get home.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, guys, good stuff. So don't forget your party hats.
Indeed.
And don't forget the birthday cards, guys, at home, and presents. We like films, we like money.
Definitely.
Right, I've been James.
Ginny Agatha. I've been Laurie.
And I've been Wyndham.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
If you're evil and you're on the rise, you can count on the four of us taking you down. 'Cause we're good and evil never beats us. We'll win the fight and then go out for pizzas. We are the crystal gems. We'll always save the day. And if you think we can't, we'll always find a way. That's why the people of this world believe in Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl and Steven.
If you could only know what we really are when we arrived on Earth. From out beyond your star, we were amazed to find your beauty and your worth, and we will protect your kind. And we will protect your Earth, and we will protect your Earth, and we will protect you.
I will fight for the place where I'm free to live together and exist as me.
I will fight in the name of Rose Quartz and everything that she believed in.
I will fight for the world I was made in. The earth is everything I've ever known.
I will fight to be everything that everybody wants me to be when I'm grown.
The odds are against us, this won't be easy, but we're not going to do it alone. We are the crystal gems.
We'll always save the day.
And if you